I'm Emily. I'm first year nursing at ACU. I'm here to share about myself. I grew up in Ballarat. I didn't grow up being Christian. No one in my family is Christian. My hobbies, I really enjoy knitting. That's something I do a lot of. Enjoy movies and TV shows. And I spend a lot of time with friends. That's a good one. My life before I was a Christian was pretty tough, especially since I was probably fairly young. For most people would say that. My mum was diagnosed with cancer when I was 5. She passed away almost 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years. So had to deal with that. My dad and myself were fairly much her full-time carers. There's a lot of stuff happened when I was about 16. Had a lot of relationship problems. Had very transactional relationships with particularly with men, and that just sort of didn't lead well, and left me with very poor self-image. And only after I became Christian I realized how much more I was giving up of myself just for to have a social interaction with someone, just to get a few messages from someone. I was giving up a lot more of myself. But yeah, I had a lot of bats with mental health. Was pretty bad during some times. I didn't really have many friends. I'd had friends, and then a few months later I'd lose them. They just stopped hanging out with me. I didn't know why. I always thought it was my problem. Like, I was at Queen's, and that was, I expected that everything would change. I'd have so many friends and it'd be so great, but that just didn't happen, and that was like really devastating. But yeah, just sort of very few and short-term friendships, no real sort of long-term friendships. Well, I went on an archaeological dig in Israel, where I happened to meet about a group of 20 people, including their Dean of Theology from Colorado Christian University. Instantly became very close friends with them, and within the first few days I ended up asking one of the girls that I became really close about her faith, and just what she believed, because I'd spent the previous weekend in Jerusalem, and you just see religion so much there. And then continued to have conversations with the group. Each night they had debrief, and that was interesting. So they invited me in because I came just to get my key, but for our room, and yeah, I soon found out that for them that was sort of like a debrief of the day, but more so it was for them like worship through singing and prayer. And yeah, that first time that was a shock to the system. Like, afterwards I was like through my mind I was like, is this a cult? Like, what am I doing? Like, should I just leave? But afterwards I was like stunned in my seat. Like, I just couldn't move, couldn't speak. I was just like, and the girls that were in that room, they just waited until I could get something out, and I was like, I've never seen people have so much faith, and like just like a strong display of their faith. It was just, sort of insane. But I continued to come to those debriefs, and just spent my weekends with them, changed all my plans so that I could spend the weekend with them. But one of the first things the dean said to me, which sort of made me realize that I should really look into this, he said, I'm waging my life that there is a God, and you're waging your life that there isn't. And it's that sort of idea that, even though it may not seem like I've really made a decision, but this is sort of, it does have, life consequences, and, for their faith, like, Christian faith, like eternal life consequences. But it was fairly scary coming back though. I was like, what if there are no Christians in Australia? Because I was like, these guys are great, they just accepted me. It really stood out in the men how they didn't expect anything from me, and that was like such a big thing. Like I was just like, what? Because I just hadn't met guys like that. Yeah, I later came to learn more about how God sees me, because that was a really big part, and how much God loves me. Because that's hard, because I don't really have a great relationship with my dad, and so even now, like, it's still really hard for me to see God as being that father figure that I know that he is, because I haven't grown up with, you know, a great dad, a great relationship with my dad. Yeah, and so that's been pretty hard. So that's something that I'm still working on, but it was really great. Like with all the self-worth, like sort of being, yeah, God does love me, and you know, Jesus set the price for me. I don't have to do that or anything like that, and I can't do that, and that price was Jesus dying for me. Like that, with my past, that was a pretty big deal. But yeah, I eventually, when I came back, messaged the Christian Union, Melbourne Uni Christian Union page, because last year I was going to Melbourne Uni, and yeah, and got in contact. That was a pretty awkward message, because I wasn't a Christian, and I was like, yeah, I met these Christians, and I'm sort of interested, but I'm not a Christian, like, you know. And they sent me Sarah Holdsworth, and I met her. And the first day I met her, I ended up going to church for the first time, and that was another interesting experience. Yeah, joined a Bible study with the church that same week. Started meeting up, reading Bible with Sarah. Yeah, and it was probably like a month and a half after I came back. Yeah, it was when I decided that I would wage my life on Jesus.